This is where Mayor Vass lives. You notice something? Or here, where Nithya Raman's $3 million mansion sits. They don't have to live in the mess they've created where you live. This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are. That's why I'm running for mayor. For my sons and the rest of us Angelinos that want to stop these corrupt politicians from destroying our city. We are going to get the golden age of Los Angeles back.
That was one of the best ads I've actually seen for a while. It's so visual and on point and everything else that I definitely want to share it. He has some great ideas with his app and everything, so I'm sure he's doomed to fail.
No, you're absolutely correct. The betting markets now at 60% for the female Mandami born in India. Both New York and LA, the two largest cities, will be run by Marxists who have not even been born here, who are Marxists of color, who are non-Christian. Keep that in mind, folks. This is not Peoria. This is New York and LA, and Chicago, just run by a black Marxist who I think was born here, the mayor of that city. Yeah, these numbers are completely off the charts at 40% or 60% rather. I think Pratt's down at 15 and even Bass is at 25 in terms of this. She has an army of Marxists going door to door. The other candidates have absolutely nothing. It's hard to run a modern campaign without foot soldiers, Eric, and she has Marxist foot soldiers. The other three Marxists on the city council announced yesterday that they will be submitting legislation to allow the 1.5 million illegal aliens to vote in Los Angeles County, Los Angeles City. Put that a little different there, but nevertheless, her combined with the current three Marxists on the city council will give them a superpower to do whatever they want in terms of recreating the city. Now, the Olympics are coming in 2 years. There, the chief of police has been yelling on deaf ears that they can't take care of the city with the current amount of police officers. He needs it to be actually doubled by 10,000. There may be 8 million people coming. They've already sold 4 million tickets to 40 different venues. No venues are going to be built. They're going to have venues around the county, just miles and miles apart. That you say, well, I could drive to them. Except that they're banning cars. Yeah. So you now have the banning of cars, venues that are all over the county, no venues being built. They said there's a moratorium on that. No real mass transit to get there, and missing about, according to the chief of police, about 10,000 police officers. They are hoping and praying the feds will provide security. There seems to be no desire on the part of the Trump administration to help them with the security for something that nobody else wanted in the world. I think it was 5 cities that turned down requests to have the Olympics. These other 5 cities did not want any part of it, and LA was named at the same year that Paris was, which was a first time only, naming 2 cities at the same time, years apart in terms of Olympics, because they wanted to
lock somebody in.
They wanted to lock somebody in, and everyone else had said, we're not interested. So stupidly, LA has agreed to this. This is a train wreck waiting to happen. People are going to get off planes and not even know where to go or have hotel rooms to stay in. They plan to sell another 4 million tickets. You're talking about 8 million people just descending upon a city. I will not be here personally at the time.
I was going to say, are you going to hang out in town for those 2 weeks?
No. I'm going to be on vacation, but
you'll be locking up, boarding up your place,
boarding it up, and
bars.
Nobody lives here. But yeah, this is
Pitbull inside.
this may be Raman's noodle factory, Nithya Raman's problem, and not Karen Bass. So she may exit stage left and not be around. And Raman, the Marxist who tried to end homelessness in India before failing and then moving to the United States to end the homelessness here and failing, reduced to creating bike lanes now, to the dismay of every single driver in the city. They can't find a place to put bike lanes, and nobody's riding the bikes. So it's just now crunching traffic into one lane with people yelling out the windows at non-existent bikers. For every single bike that goes by, there's an estimate that 10,000 cars are going by. Just think about that ratio of a bike lane versus a car lane, and you will see how insane this, and it's a national phenomenon. They're doing it all over the country. They're doing it in New York under Mandami. They're trying to force people out of their cars. They're screamingly happy that gas prices are approaching $8. They wanted this without the Iranian situation anyway. Mm-hmm. They have a cover of the New York Post this morning showing that across the street, literally in Eric's home state of Arizona, is a gas station. Let me see if I can find this. Hold on.
Anyway, while he's looking for that, I can tell you that the bike situation is always a...
They have a gas station that's a mile away from the gas station in California, and the gas is $2.50 a gallon cheaper, and it's the front page of the New York Post, and it's like, says, the wrath of Newsom. And people, it's not just the people who are driving across the border,
sure,
which everyone does.
But I can imagine the lines that are extending all the way to the...
In fact, every time I leave California, I go to that gas station, which is exit 1.
The most busy gas station in
the
Arizona.
world. In the world, yeah. In Arizona, it says you're leaving California, and people like looking at their gas gauge going, can we make it? Can we? Because you want to be on empty, but you know, and you're coming out of the desert, so it's a little bit sketchy, you know, how far you could get on the
I'm from there,
Eric, right?
When they say last chance for gas, they're not bullshitting you.
No, you see some skeletons at some burned out cars on the side of the road that didn't estimate it properly. I don't know what happens to the electric people; they're on their own. But yeah, it's like something like 359 or 450 outside of in Arizona, and then almost $2.50 higher in California. And they showed you on the picture, it's all taxes.
Of course it is. I mean, it's such an obvious demonstration. It's like, well, wait a minute. They're a mile apart. It has to be taxes.
Right. No, there's no wiggle room.
It's a perfect natural experiment happening that shows it. I mean, come on.
And not only that, this Newsom has been railing for 5 years that this is done to him by the oil companies. And nobody bothered to say, well, why don't they do it to Arizona? Yeah. Why are they just doing it to you, fuckface? And there's nobody ever answers or even asks in the news media that question, unless it was CBS News out of Sacramento that did a 6-month investigation only to find out that Newsom had made this up.
Well, they could have saved a whole lot of time.
Yeah, all they had to do was go to this.
Look at the tax amount and look at the breakdown, and here you go. I mean, it's pretty.
It's just common sense. Why would the gas industry, the oil industry, only target California, not Indiana? You know what I mean? Yeah. Why would they not target Arizona? That's a border state. It didn't make any logical sense, but nothing does here.
No, and then they just, I mean, we've seen that. Remember when Newsom debated DeSantis for whatever crazy reason? The stats were literally behind him on the board, and he was doing the equivalent of a mostly peaceful protest with the burning trash bins behind him, saying, Florida's numbers are terrible. It's like, those are your numbers. They're right behind you. It's right there, you bastard.
It's startling how they'll lie in the face of evidence that's right in front of them or projected on a board. They will just continue to lie, knowing that maybe half of the people will believe them.
It doesn't matter. People just nod right along, and it's like, confession through projection in a continuous measure. You brought up New York, though, so we're going to just drift right over there since it's...
what's going on there?
Well, man, Dom, he can't pay taxes. He can't pay his damn bill. He
boy.
is the city may go defunct. I mean, Hochul's like, tough shit. You're on your own. No, we're not going to help you. No,
Oh,
we're not giving you
wow.
tax credits. We're not giving
Whoa.
you shit.
Go Hochul.
So I think it's perfect. It's like, how's he trying to fill the budget gap? Well, he's begging for the state to give him money. They want
Well, the Fed's not going to give him money. That's for sure. The only chance he's got is the state.
Yeah, and here's her response: the state is not changing.
Wow.
It's a PTET, a pass-through entity tax credit.
Wow.
So she's saying tough shit. I think it's great.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's
beautiful. But it's a perfect response.
Let me tell you something. The normal response is now going to be, which is normal, instead of free buses, he's going to have to raise the fares. The reverse of what he promised, Eric, because that's what everyone's ever done in his position, is raise the subway and bus fares to get instant cash flowing. And it would be ironic in his case, because he campaigned on free mass transit.
Right. And can I point out that the mass transit, let me see, what hits poor people the hardest?
Mass transit. Yeah.
Mass transit. So, supposedly the champion of the people is bending the people over directly, that he's supposedly helping them out.
Eggs. This being May Day, there are communist demonstrations around the world today celebrating a defunct ideology that has killed tens of millions of people over the decade since it was created. The celebratory dance of this death cult is bizarre to watch. But it's here in LA, New York, Europe, everywhere you look, celebrating this death cult.
Yeah, well, in New York, they're chaining themselves.
Really?
Today, I was like,
wow,
go work.
Right.
Go to work.
Right.
I mean, it's like it's Friday, for God's sake. You've got a job. You could be doing so well. Instead of begging for handouts and chaining yourself to a building, you could just go to a job and go home.
And they can't do that. That is really, really dark. I saw this Hassan Piker dude with some fat chick from the New York Times and then a chick from the New Yorker having this sit-down seminar conversation. It was the creepiest thing I've ever seen. I mean, the fat chick is saying that everybody's into micro looting now. Do you support micro looting? And I'm going, what the fuck is micro looting? And then they both were sharing how they steal everything they can, and they're proud of it. For stealing, especially from Whole Foods. That's apparently their main target because they shop there. This is the Whole Foods crowd.
And they're snobs. Exactly. They go to Whole Foods because they're too snobbish to go to Albertsons or Safeway or
they said they wouldn't steal from a bodega because it's a mom and pop shop and they have to go back there, and they would be embarrassed if they were caught. But when they go to Whole Food or Trader Joe's, there's a guy working there who just winks and nods, who's a friend of theirs. Bobby from the Hood, who's a musician, who's got a band that I went to see at Cafe Schmuckface last week. So he allows us to steal. I mean, it's just crazy. They're going to have to shut down these stores in all these different neighborhoods now, for inventory loss.
And then they'll start complaining about food deserts. So it's like,
let them complain. If it's my corporation, what do I care? We're out of there, and you're complaining nobody's there. I don't care what you say. I have a corporation.
Oh, I know, but I'm just pointing out the beautiful hypocrisy of it. While you're talking about that, here's a story. I don't know if you saw this. You had a Chick-fil-A employee accused of stealing $80,000. I love this, with a mac and cheese scheme.
Wow, what's a mac and cheese scheme? That's what he stole?
What this guy did is apparently he was at the end of the day doing hundreds and hundreds of refunds for mac and cheese orders
to himself.
Yeah, he just sat there just refunding
I'm telling you something, a lot of these guys from the ghetto, they are the worst criminals when it comes to anything like white collar crime.
Yeah, they get caught doing it on this.
They're just not good at this one thing. They're better at run and gun jewelry heist with guns and masks. That's their main thing. But when they get into any sort of white collar thing, They are so easily caught by these stupid schemes. Like, how did this guy think he was going to get away with this electronically?
I mean, it's so funny because he probably got away with it, like, well, he got away the first day because nobody's looking, and he gets away another day, and it's like, yeah, you probably can get away for even a few weeks potentially, and then they go, wait a minute, these numbers aren't adding up.
Doesn't he think they may have an inventory in the central headquarters? I mean, don't they see this drain in the headquarters wherever they are now at Atlanta? That there's 10 million refunds from mac and cheese over here, Bob. Why don't we take a ride over and see what's going? Oh, it's this guy. He's the only guy here.
Exactly. Well, let's go to the tape. Every single transaction is recorded. You've got to have an employee login. Now, I mean, at least he would hopefully be clever enough to steal somebody else's login. Maybe slow it down.
No. You're way too. I mean, some of these people, and my brother included, who worked for Rick Newman at Catch a Rising Star, and he was there overnight in Rick Newman's office, running up tens of thousands of dollars in sex phone calls. And Rick Newman comes in and says, what is going on here? I just got this bill. And he denies the entire thing. And Rick Newman goes, you're the only one here. It has to be you. And he just denied it. And he said, well, get your stuff and get out of here. I can't afford to have you here anymore. People will deny their crimes till the bitter end, Eric, till the bitter end.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
And they start yelling too. It's like they just keep escalating the volume and whatever else, and you're just like, what is?
I remember seeing Rick Newman at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and he told me this, and I said, well, why would you hire my brother? He's a retard. And he goes, well, I thought the apple couldn't fall far from the tree. I go, you're out of your mind. You should have called me.
This isn't the Jeopardy brother, right?
No. This is the other brother. The other one's a retard, not the Jeopardy brother. The other one who's a criminal. The Rick Newman, who knew me, I didn't really know Rick Newman. Rick Newman famously ran and created Catch a Rising Star in New York. Right. Just came to me and he said this story, which I just told you. This was 20 years ago. But I just had to crack up laughing that he would hire this retard simply because he had my name and was using my name as an entree to get work.
So hold on, I want to get this straight. So between you and your brothers, there's a curve.
Oh yeah,
like a bell curve.
It's definitely a bell curve. I mean, we don't know how this guy got so stupid. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of funny.
No, that's fair.
This is in my own family, so I speak from experience about these types of crimes. And they all worked at Wendy's. He worked at Wendy's. I don't even know what they did there. I was afraid to even wonder if they ripped off Wendy's or not.
Well, while we're talking about the finer part of society, one of the stories I had pulled up is that looks like the time or the clock has run out on the illustrious Spirit Airlines.
Oh my God! I never even flew them. Spirit, I hardly knew ye.
What
happened here? Are they done?
Apparently Trump is still saying there's maybe a bailout deal. I hope not. I mean,
I hope not.
Please don't. Somebody argued with me offline saying, yeah, but this is for the passengers. I'm like, I get it. But then what's going to be next month? When's the next set of passengers? And they haven't fixed all their problems. They just need to let them die. If you want to help the passengers, say, fine, we'll give you a tax write-off on your whatever ticket and then call it a day, but you're done. Let the airline die.
I mean, what's the upside for the American people? I mean, if they put $500 million into perpetuating this failed airlines, that may just be money thrown away for next month when they can't make it again.
Exactly. That's
why is $500 million going to rent it? It's just going to keep them afloat.
Exactly. And if you really were, again, if you're concerned about the people, then say, okay, here's money towards a voucher on a functional airline.
You're talking about people who have bought tickets for the future.
Correct.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, if they can't refund them, or people who might be stranded because they got to one location.
In real time. Well, you got to give a 30-day notice. I think you got to give a 5-minute warning or something that they're going to pull the plug. Just don't pull the plug on a Tuesday night at midnight.
That's true. True.
I mean, you got to have a warning for the people.
But you got to be smart about it. I mean, I know, my buddy Nate just literally canceled his and got a refund on his upcoming trip because he's like, hey, the airline doesn't look solid. I better be
canceling
my tickets.
there's a phrase called "let the buyer beware," right, Eric?
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, there's no, what is this? A socialist airlines? We have to support this thing? I
And
don't get it.
and you know it's a bad situation when you are a shorthand for a certain type of passenger, because Carnival Cruises is called Spirit of the Sea.
That's bad. That's
So
bad.
it's really bad when you're held up as a template. Like, okay, if you're a garbage business, your spirit of whatever.
Your spirit of whatever. That's not good for marketing. Look, my dad worked for Eastern. They went out of business. My dad worked for Pan Am. They went out of business. I mean, not because of him. They just went out of business. I mean, he didn't give up his life. He just went to another airlines.
Well, I'm still recovering from the fact that ValueJet changed their name to AirTran, and I didn't know it. I was flying on them, and they're like, this used to be ValueJet. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm flying to Florida. I don't like this.
Eddie Murphy used to fly AirTran, I think, that before he was really famous.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was funny because AirTran was perfectly fine, but, there was a lesson in there. Don't name your airline ValueJet or Budget or Thrifty. I think those are bad names. On an airline, I kind of like stable, strong,
that's bad.
secure.
But even Trump Air went bankrupt. Even his company went bankrupt.
Absolutely.
It's a very thin margin of profit. I mean, you really have to have everything going in the right direction to make a profit in the airline business. And they always try to short circuit the maintenance department. Farming it out. My dad was telling me near the end, certain airlines were farming it out to Costa Rica, where you'd fly in there to fix the planes to avoid the union mechanics that my dad was one of. Not that the union was that important, but the fact of their quality of technological skill was. And some of the airlines near the end of their runs of these airlines that I mentioned were flying to third world countries to have their planes maintained.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Costa Rica. This isn't Costa Rica, but it is almost related to it. U.S. airline resumes direct flights to Venezuela.
Oh, fascinating.
So things are opening up there.
Right.
And now we've got, this is the first time in over 7 years, I believe, that flights are directly flying into Venezuela. It's
helpful for us. We have a guy named Bruce Gatterall, who's a relief pitcher who's a Venezuelan. So it's helpful to the Dodgers. So I'm really happy about that.
Well, yeah, as long as the priorities are here.
The priority, he needed to go home and see his family. He started weeping, which is affecting his pitching game. So now maybe he'll be more stable as a pitcher.
Well, fair enough, but my priority is here too, because Byron is giving us a $50 super chat, which I definitely want to call out early. Thank you. Thank you to both of you for all your content. AUS and the other channels make up the majority of my YouTube viewing. So,
well, we need all the support we can get from the American people and the viewers, because YouTube is on a mission to strangle us out of business, and we're just doing this show. And the numbers get smaller and smaller, and they don't explain why. And the numbers seem to be the same for each episode. And this, conglomeration needs to be broken up, Google and YouTube, and something's got to give here, but the support from the viewers is really helpful.
Oh, it's hugely helpful. And just, I want to say, we don't even have it as bad as other people. YouTube right now is going through a raft of demonetizations, and I've been sharing them on X where I can, but I mean, people, they're 3 years in, hundreds, thousands of videos that they've done by hand. They're legitimate, and they're getting demonetized as quote unquote inauthentic content, things like that. So if you see people talking about it,
they got to go in,
share it out. Please share it out, because it is so destructive to a creator. And I just want to shout them out. I read some of the stories, and I almost want to cry.
Yeah.
And this is from my experience as someone who did have his channel completely nuked at one point. It's a serious deal. So if you see it, please, let people know. And
I think the Trump administration has to do something about it. They're afraid. They're scared of Google. Google, unlike AIPAC, owns the Congress. They are the largest donators to every congressman, and are the largest lobbying group in the world when it comes to owning congressmen and senators. The biggest amount of money to every one of them comes from Google, and part of the deal is most likely don't ever mention Fight Club in terms of Google's money to them. It's got to be broken up. I'm sorry for their loss, but this is a democracy. We cannot have this corporation owning every single senator and congressman in the country. I'm sorry, something's got to give here. They're strangling everyone. They have illegal business practices. Nobody will go and investigate them. Any complaints you make, or they just go unanswered. Something's got to give, Eric.
Oh, and
something's got to give.
Too, because you'll say something like, you appeal it, and I can tell you this firsthand, because in the background you can see, a video, and I hit play to watch it. I see one person watched it, right?
Yeah.
I put in appeals, denied, upon further review, denied. The number never ticked up. Not a single person watched it. And it's almost it's
egregious. It's undemocratic, uncapitalistic. The guy running it is a Marxist from India. I mean, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. This is not some third or fourth phone company that has weird practices. This is the biggest company in the United States, operating, hating Trump, hating democracy, pro-socialist, and they own every congressman in the country. It's got to give. Something's got to give here.
I agree. And I'm terrified to keep talking about it, because we're on the platform right now talking about it, going, gee, I wonder, that's tripping off some robots. I mean, there's already words that we can't be limited to, so we'll have to come up with code names. It's just
by the way, speaking of bots, the apparently, according to various commentators, the idea that the assassination attempt was staged has been pouring in from foreign bots, feeding the algorithm, Eric.
Yeah. I had a
have you noticed
from Wired. Well, I knew it ahead of time. I was like, it's not even going to be the leftists who start with that, because remember before it was Joy Reid. No, it's going to be the MAGA Reich.
Yeah. Well, it's also foreign bots now, that they're doing it. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's a certain creator, I'm going to stop saying names, I think, because I think it just helps them, who's, let's just say, just released something about how well they are doing. And a lot of their businesses, it's translated content, other languages. And those other languages are curious. It's like, oh, okay, so you got a lot more views in other countries.
Wow, that's awkward.
That's kind of like, I love, and I know that people can get around it to a degree, but the idea of when you click on a name on X and you can just go look at the account creation, it'll say where it was created, and it's so interesting. You see like Israel sucks, and it's from another country in the Middle East. You go, but
it's a
All-American
simple
patriot. That's your username.
Oh man, it's a simple electronic strategy, and it's cost effective.
Yeah, I mean it is cheap as can be, and bots can tip numbers all over the place, and it's very, very difficult to track it. And that's why I don't like to say, oh, this channel's healthy or they're not healthy or what, because I can't see.
You can't tell anymore. You can't tell anymore. Yeah.
No, I mean, I can barely tell how we're doing, and I have the stats because you're fighting against a black box. But either way, while we're talking about bots and social media and things like this, I do want to get your take. We got the Comey charges. What do you think? I mean,
more the merrier. Who cares? I said this a million times on this channel now, and people are now getting nervous legs. Indict everyone. I don't care if they lose or win. Just keep indicting people on anything. Make them go into their pockets. Make them hire lawyers. Forget about this win or lose strategy. I've said this repeatedly on the channel for 2 years. Indict. If you lose, you lose. Move on to the next one or re-indict. It's got to be a wall of fire against these people who tried to destroy democracy. Just keep indicting them. I don't give a shit if they lose the case or not. We had a better chance because this is North Carolina, Eric. But nevertheless, if the guy spits on the fucking sidewalk, like Giuliani did to clean up New York with the incredible amount of people who were wiping windows. He at stop signs and stoplights. He got rid of those people who were the window washers, and crime started to go down. I'm only using the analogy because it was New York and he was the mayor and he cleaned up the city. Go after these people. Anything they do, go after them. If they wiggle off the hook, re-indict that fat black woman in New York. Go after her again. I'm all for this. Are they charges that are weak? Yeah, who cares? I don't care.
Except when the tide turns and it's coming back.
The tide turns, we're finished, Eric. We're finished. This tide turning strategy of living in fear because these pieces of shit are going to come back in power. You've got to crush them so they don't get back in power. No offense to you. I'm just saying this whole living like, oh my God, what happens when they get back? If we're not nice to them now, they're going to really be mean to us. Fuck that. Crush these people. Go after every single one of them. Go after Weiss in the Southern District of New York, who worked with the current Attorney General, close hand in hand. Nobody knows that he worked so well with the current Attorney General in New York to indict Trump a million times. Give me a break. Give me a break. Go after every single one of them, Eric.
Flamethrower diplomacy by Mark Groubert.
I don't know if it's diplomacy, but I believe that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. 95 indictments. Oh my God, Comey's been indicted twice. Well, you know what I said on Twitter? 93 to go.
All right, so now let's shift around to I guess the headline story for the week that is interesting. We've got the latest attempt on Trump took place Saturday night with our ever competent Secret Service.
Look, I don't even know who to blame anymore, because you have fat TSA agents standing there completely unarmed in the line of fire.
I thought they were getting paid, so I'm wondering, did they pull up in the air? Didn't you go? Wait a minute. If ICE has to replace them at the airports, then I'm confused. Why isn't ICE running the thing?
I think they put out an all points bulletin for double secret overtime for anyone who will show up to the Washington Hilton to do this job. And everybody showed up from various walks of life to be paid double overtime to simply stand around in that hotel. That's what it looks like to me. You got 3 people standing against the wall who are TSA. You've got the guy shooting from, I want to say 36 inches away, 5 shots from 36 to 48 inches away, missing all 5. Well, Marco is a moving target. I believe there might be training for shooting moving targets. I might be wrong, but it may be that there's training for shooting moving targets. If not, maybe there should be. Now, this mutt here, Curran, he was giving out awards last month, Eric, to all his friends at the upper level. He gave out literally participation trophies to his friends in the upper levels of the Secret Service, Curran. And he said he would go back in there again and do everything exactly the same way. Well, that's your final death note to getting fired, in my humble opinion. Anyone who would say that this thing was perfectly planned, it's what he said. He would go back in and do the same thing again. Just remove him from the fucking building. Go in, get the guy, drag him out on his fat ass and say, you're done here, bro. We're going to take your deputy as interim director, and we're going to take somebody who has a military background, who may have been in the Green Berets, who may have been in special forces, put together a Praetorian type guard to protect this president from here on out, and call it a day. This is just getting crazier and crazier and crazier.
I agree. And it's shocking to consider, because even in a high-powered operation, even in Venezuela, which is by all accounts one of the best operations ever, I'm willing to bet that they have a list of mistakes that they made that they're correcting for the next mission.
Well,
so
let's get into this mission. Let's get into this mission, because he's claiming that it was not friendly fire. that hit this particular officer. Okay, well, who fired upon the officer? His account, however, differs in respects from actual court documents filed Wednesday by federal prosecutors. Those filings reference an officer firing 5 times, but make absolutely no fucking mention of that officer or any other being shot, and do not accuse the suspect of aiming at or striking a Secret Service officer, which is absolutely true, and you could see it on the video.
Well, I couldn't see who was hit or when, or no flash, nothing.
That shotgun would have blown this guy back from the force. Never mind the penetration of the bullet, of the shrapnel, the pellets. The reality of it is they had nothing on this guy. So they're going to say that he fired his weapon, which he never did. The reality of it, it's not in their court documents. Why wouldn't you list that, of discharging a firearm in the presence of the president? Sorry, pal. It says here, former agents and other sources in the Secret Service community also noted that Thomas Crook, he was saying that Curran was saying that the assailant never got within 120 yards of the president. So their mission was successful. But others pointed out, Eric, that the would-be assassin Thomas Crooks, who nearly killed Trump in July of 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania, was shooting from a distance of roughly 130 yards, the exact same distance that nicked the head of the president of the United States. This guy is in so far over his head in terms of being an administrator that it's ridiculous. He talked about perimeter maintenance. Okay, let's talk about perimeter maintenance. There's nobody blocking the 2-hole in the middle of their defensive line from having a guy walking through the center of the perimeter. Perimeter maintenance, officers standing around, a few seemingly run away, falling into each other, canine sense not followed, officers only noticing Allen holding a long gun when he already made it through the magnetometers. 10 or 11 guards, 10 of the 11 weren't paying attention when the guy with the gun came running at them, attempting to kill the president. And the one guy who was watching fired multiple shots from his close range without hitting the assassin. Go ahead.
There is one staff member or one security member who did know that the guy was a problem, and that was the dog who got pulled away.
The dog was all over
twice. The dog was on it. The dog was saying, hey, what's going on in here? Hey.
Yeah, the dog was doing that. And that guy with the dog was having a friendly conversation with the assailant. That guy has to go. In March of this year, last month, Curran made waves across the agency by giving himself and several of his friends and senior Secret Service officials he placed in key leadership roles, quote unquote, Valor Awards, announced through email to all employees of the Secret Service. The Valor Awards are just some of those the director designates each year, while others include life-saving awards for agents and officers who perform heroic actions on or off duty. This participation trophy stuff really got the rank and file up in arms, that he gave it to his friends at the top. This is just, an accident waiting to happen. Recruitment crisis. Behind the leadership turmoil is a broader personnel crisis. Recruitment bonuses, which once ranged between 45 and 50K, have been increased to 75K. In an attempt to hasten recruitment and hiring, the agency also utilizes retention bonuses up to 10 to 25% base salary, but senior agents are leaving in such significant numbers. This is the point. Sources say exhausted by the dysfunction and diminished by an agency culture in total freefall. That's from today's Real Clear Politics article.
Susan Crabtree.
No, she didn't write. She did write it. I'm sorry. Yeah, May 1st. Absolutely.
Just to give her a little bit of credit.
Yeah, written by Susan Crabtree. It says, this is from Curran. Our officer heroically returned fire. Heroically returned fire while being shot at point blank range in the chest with a shotgun. The videos do not show that. The officer was able to get off 5 shots. Last line, I swear to God, it's great training. That was the last line of his statement. It's great training that he was able to get off 5.
I think our friend Nate the lawyer has a good addition to this. I am no Trump fan, but the Secret Service has been a joke, and my president deserves better. Biden, Trump, or
Yeah, no, it
whoever.
doesn't matter. This goes back to JFK. It's the whole point of the channel. The fact that members of the Secret Service were out drinking all night. This goes into Obama when they were in South America. We listed all the incidents just from the last couple of months on the last episode of what's going on. It has to be divided up for time purposes and have a unit of special forces brought in. I'm not alone in saying this. A special forces unit must be brought in to be the protective service of the president. The fact that this schmuck is saying he's willing to go back in there to the same unsecurable Washington Hilton is enough to be laughable if it wasn't so fucking sick, Eric.
Yeah. No,
he's determined to get this guy killed. Determined.
Yeah, and I mean, and I get it. Trump is trying to do the, steady at the top, and he's got a sense of humor. Like, it was genuinely funny when somebody said, "Are you going to have to be wearing a bulletproof vest?" He said, "I don't think I could handle the 20 pounds it'll add on me."
It's too fat for that. Yeah,
which is funny, but it is a giant problem.
The reason they're doing this now is to prevent him and have him back on his heels for going on 500 midterm speeches.
Yep.
In other words, this is being done now to push back where the Secret Service will say, "Sir, this place is insecurable. Fill in the blank. No rally for you here in Des Moines, Iowa. No rally for you here in Miami, Florida. No rally for you here in Tupelo, Mississippi, because our incompetent Secret Service can't secure the venue." That's where this is going. That's why I'm so irate about this, because it's about the midterms coming up and him going out on the stump and being prevented from speaking on the stump.
And by the way, Butler Farm Show, which is the exact example of that. Notice that is a purple area. Pennsylvania was very much in play, so it's like,
yeah,
you're probably not going to see any problem with him going to Charlottesville or something.
Right, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But they want to keep him afraid of any place that's going to be important.
It's any venue, Eric. You can't let your guard down. This was the most, as I said last week, 2,500 people in this ballroom was the most hostile audience he has faced in 6 years of political campaigning. Every single person in that room hated his fucking guts. When you go to a rally, every single person in the room loves his guts. So what happens here? It's the worst security ever assembled. He's almost killed by an assailant who lives in the hotel for a short period of time, who literally makes a run at it with an incredibly incompetent mishmash of Metropolitan Police, fat TSA agents who are unarmed, various Secret Service DIA fat chicks, and it's an entire mishmash of security, completely exposed as being incompetent. And the head of the organization said, "Greatest job we ever did in our lives."
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the disconnect is breathtaking here. The disconnect is absolutely breathtaking. You would think it would be a joke.
No, I agree. And that he's Trump's guy who Trump picks. Anyway, really quickly, he did get a Rumble rant early. I didn't even see it. $50 from Rooftop saying, "No complaints, no suggestions. Just take my money. I appreciate the shows."
We need it. I'll tell you.
Thank you. And we will. Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, kind sir. Kitty724 said, "Gee, the bots sound like our voting systems. Love y'all. Have a nice weekend." They're not that far off. Yeah. I mean, bots do drive a lot of traffic. So, yeah, I don't know where to go on that or what is actually going to happen. Yes, I agree. Having special forces would be great, but I would like to see, whoever's still around from the Reagan crew. There were bright spots. Secret Service during Reagan was pretty solid.
I know, but that's 50 years ago. I mean,
I know.
Guys are 90 years old now, Eric.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, they're a little bit old, but I think that special forces can do this job, and I think they would relish doing the job. And I think you could put a crew together run by a military intelligence person who is far, far brighter than these cats. It's got to be done. You could say it's temporary, whatever you want to say. It doesn't really matter. I mean, as I said before, Bobby Kennedy was trying to get rid of them in 1963 to save his brother's life. It just came up short. He wanted to use, I mean, you could, say U.S. Marshals if you want, but they're kind of incompetent and overextended as well.
Mhm.
But this U.S. Marshal was talking about on Twitter how
they almost lost Kavanaugh.
The TSA was so incompetent that this undercover U.S. Marshal was forced to show his ID 3 times before getting on a plane in his undercover role as a U.S. Marshal, and they kept saying out loud, "Hey, he's a U.S. Marshal." I
Let him through. He's a marshal.
No, but they didn't let him through. 3 times they stopped him until every person on the plane knew that he was an undercover U.S. Marshal. This has to end. This has to end.
I agree. All right. Well, one person they are investigating is the brewery owner out of Minnesota. I don't know if you heard about this guy.
Yeah.
Minnequa. I don't know how to say it.
It's probably Minnequa. It's probably
Minnequa. Thank you. They met this guy, and this guy, I mean, his post is really, really over the.
Okay, so what do you do now? I mean, what do you charge this guy with? You just go, it's free speech. You can say you can kill the president, or what point do you prosecute these people?
I don't know, because they did talk to him, and he's obviously taking it well. This is him, discussing it.
Okay.
By the way, all you MAGA guys that linked the Secret Service and the FBI, it appears that they don't give a crap about your links, but the fact that you overwhelmed them with links probably forced them to actually come here and question me.
Good.
Maybe that's what you wanted. So you got what you wanted.
However, thank you.
First Amendment still rules.
No, it doesn't. Not when you're saying you want to kill the president.
Never going to stop talking.
They are completely wrong about this.
See you later. Over and out.
Where's this guy, Nate?
We're still here. We're still public. Ain't no one going to jail in the immediate future.
I doubt that, my fat friend.
Anyway, he not only you can see he's belligerent. He doesn't give a shit about it.
Good.
He actually he doxed every agent, and he posted their phone numbers for people to harass them.
This guy's got to go. I mean, you're taking down the former head of the FBI for lesser statements on the part of 86ing the president of the United States. This fat fuck's got to go to the beer cooler.
I totally agree. And even also the 86 statement could backfire in the sense like Jack Posobiec did the exact same statement about Biden. He said, 86, 46.
Right, but he's not the current sitting president of the United States.
No, he did it while Biden was president.
So. Right, but I'm saying this is happening now. This is in other words, the proof is in the pudding. Nothing happened. Biden's in retirement.
Yeah.
This guy is calling for the execution of the current president of the United States. I mean, it's like saying, I want to kill Lincoln again. I mean, he's gone. I mean, I want to kill Obama.
He did it.
I know, but he's not president now. This guy is president now. That's what I'm saying. He's saying, I want to kill Clinton. He's no longer the president.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you see it, but anyway, I'll move on. Let me see. Tim Allen is pointing out
I love Tim Allen.
The hypocrisy, and a lot of people did, because it is hilarious that the biggest people screaming no kings include Chucky Schumer, and he was doing a standing ovation and clapping like a seal over Charles' visit here. And Tim Allen posted, would have been funny to see the facial reactions of an actual king with a no kings parade yelling at him.
That's funny. And I think Ilhan Omar was even clapping like a seal for the king.
Oh, they all were. They
love this king.
Yeah.
It's just a question of which king I liked Alan King. I thought he was a great comedian. He used to be on Ed Sullivan all the time. Depends which king you're against.
It's you can't make it up. And and what's so funny is watching people who are who are getting mad that it's brought up. You know, it's like, oh, you don't like your hypocrisy brought up. Like, don't bring up the.
Well, it's like those libs of TikTok. They tried to sue to prevent them bringing up their own posts from the libs of TikTok.
Oh yeah, all she did was post literally no
The
changes,
actual
anything.
post,
This
yeah.
is it. Yeah, yeah, it is so unbelievable.
We have the ability to not be made fun of. That's our legal right.
Yeah, when we say it, it's
when we say it, we have the cloak of
free
of
speech.
protection.
It's relevant for us.
Yeah,
our free speech, not hate speech. Free speech. We said it. It's free. You said it. It's hate. Can't do that. Yeah, it is astounding how that works. We did have a good decision that has got them going crazy, and that's the Supreme Court voted to gut the part of the Voting Rights Act where they can't have a racially determined districting. They can only go by, I think you say, partisanship. So, you know, essentially it's determined by whoever wins by partisan. You can't just say, okay, this is a black majority area or race majority area, and this will now be a congressional district.
Long overdue, long overdue. And I've said this before. If blacks did not vote in a 96 percentile for Democrats, none of this would matter. It's the fact that they have received special voting privileges and vote for the same political party. That's the rub. In other words, all of this stuff of extending election day was for these fictitious or real black church women in the South, that they couldn't get it together to vote on a particular day, so they started to do extended voting. They had vans picking them up, taking them to the polls. It just extended outward and further and further and further with special privileges for a group, and I don't care which group it is. The group, unfortunately, votes in one direction. That's the problem with the Voting Rights Act. It's that they're voting 90 plus for one party. If it was 50-50, nobody would give a shit.
Yeah, well, if it was competitive at all, even if it's 60-40 or what, you know, it would be like, well, you know, sometime, you know,
absolutely,
it could go either way. And there was I can't remember. It's a black congressman, and apparently he may, you know, lose his position, but he's actually a Republican. They were saying, well, you know, what about you? He said, I don't care. He said, stop it. He said, the whole point is that you need to vote for the people who are actually going to represent you, the most qualified. It doesn't matter what their skin color is. And I thought his
well, Florida's going to look pretty when this is done. I'll tell you that much. I had to use a microscope from Leeuwenhoek to find the blue dots on the on the Florida map. I had to use the Hubble telescope from up above to actually find a blue dot or two on that Florida map, Eric.
Well, you know, it's funny because Florida, like 10 years ago, was kind of up in the air. Like it was tipping, and there was very real questions. As a matter of fact, I think that the first time DeSantis won, I think it was narrow. I thought it was a very close victory.
Gore versus Bush. Go back to the
the
well, butterfly ballots and the hanging chads.
Now,
it was purple as hell.
Now, to be fair, they did lose Miami, and that was very recent, and that's the first non-Republican Miami mayor, I think, in 20-something years. So that's not positive.
They flooded the zone with Venezuelans and legal aliens from South America who came from socialist countries into Miami Beach.
That's true. Well, while we're talking about flooding the area, there's a new trend going on where people are.
Can you explain this to me? Can you explain this?
Oh, you knew who it was immediately, huh?
Yeah, we've been following it here, so I kind of knew where you're going. But go ahead.
Well, I had shared it out too because I have no love for the group.
Well, Christine, these videos are happening more and more, and there's concern that someone is going to get hurt.
Go, 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 go!
People rushing in, then running out.
The stairs are right here, right here, here.
A new TikTok trend going viral, showing masked groups forcing their way into Scientology centers.
They call it the speed run, Scientology speed run.
Church officials calling it a hate crime.
You can't charge them with a hate crime if they're not doing nothing. I mean, we're not yelling racial.
Okay, TikTokers do this shit, and this is just a shift. They were doing it in people's houses. Like, if somebody was going to get something in their car or whatever, it was a trend that they would go run through the house. And this is horrible behavior. I am no fan of Scientology or anything they're doing, but they should be locked up. They should be arrested.
Let me just tell you what's going to happen. They're going to shoot to kill. They've done this previously here in Hollywood, and LAPD has signed off on it. There was one guy who came all the way down from, I think, Seattle, who wanted his money back for having gone up the OT ladder and having no results. And he wrote to them numerous times and said, I'm coming down there and I want my fucking money back. And he came down, got out of the car right here at the Celebrity Center, right near me, and took out a sword and went to the...
Hold on, sword. Meth?
Yeah. He was on
meth. I just want to go. Oh, yeah, no, there are certain rules. Go on.
He went in with his samurai sword, and they said, hey, how's it going? And then riddled him with bullets. In other words, he never did anything with the sword. They riddled him with bullets, the Scientology security. The LAPD showed up, looked at the security camera, and said, have a nice day, guys. And that was the end of the entire event.
Stand your ground.
Yeah. I mean, it was legal, but I'm saying these kids are going to feel the bullet fuselage of the Scientology security force, because they're not going to put up with this much longer.
Well, apparently they're locking the buildings down and everything else to try to prevent it. And again, like I said, I don't like Scientology, but don't go running into freaking buildings.
They can't help themselves. They have to get those views. They need the clicks. It's either click or die.
Well, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Why aren't they being demonetized? Why are they picking on other channels? It's like they're committing a crime. I understand it if you say, hey, it's not free speech if you're committing a crime. Breaking into a building is not speech.
They're targeting free speech because that's their enemy. How many times do we have to hear this from the left? Their enemy in Europe is free speech, and their enemy here in the United States is free speech. They say it's hate speech. They can call it whatever they want. Look what Musk is up against. Look what the Brits are up against. Look at our friends in the UK, what they're up against on social media. We don't have anywhere near the problems that they have. But that's the mindset right now, Eric. That's the mindset on social media. They probably think they're being liberal by letting us talk at all. They're probably sitting around going, look, these guys don't even
pull the plug yet. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, no, they're going like, because it's a global company. They don't divide UK from the United States. They're looking globally. They're probably thinking, these guys think they've got it bad. Look what we did to the UK.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And that's why I did want to point out that we're doing better than many, that there are people who are really, losing the channel is obviously worse than we have right now.
Yeah.
That's a given, but it is ugly. And speaking of, helping us and supporting a little bit, King of Biltong with the Rumble Rant said, try our selection of Piri Piri Biltong, great biltong flavor with an added mild heat. Over 50% protein packed with B12, creatine. Is it creatine? Okay, creatine, iron, zinc, and much more. Go to biltongusa.com. That's biltongusa.com. Code name AUS for 10% off. And I always do the hard G because when I heard it before, people talking about, I thought it was just ON, not ONG.
What do you think they should do with the people that stole all the liquor from the dinner the other night?
Not a damn thing. And it's kind of crazy too, because from what I understand, they were tables of 10.
Yeah.
And they put out 10 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, everybody got a bottle. So technically they were all issued a bottle. And the question might be, well, that was the bottle you were issued. You either drink it or you take it home. So I'm sure they'll probably just squeak.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
So
what about the silverware?
I can't speak to that.
Okay.
I am not a professional scraping flatware from restaurants. I hope something happens, but I am quite sure that nothing will happen. So I don't know. I'm a little bit jaded on all of that. Let me see. We've got okay. Another story that it's almost the same story that we report over and over.
Well, you
and
should
over.
mention that Sergey Brin has issued a statement about fleeing socialism in 1979 to compare fleeing California. That might be interesting to the audience.
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I fled socialism with my family in 1979 and know the devastating, oppressive society it created in the Soviet Union. I don't want California to end up in the same place. He is speaking out against the billionaire tax in California and fleeing like everyone else has fled. And because he doesn't want them to take his money and use it for their socialistic programs.
I'm so happy to hear him
care
about socialism and communism. The guy who created Google, which is what we were just complaining about earlier, is seizing assets from everybody else. So I'm sorry, Sergey. Oh, gee, thank you. Thank you for standing up for the right thing when it comes to your.
Well, to be fair, he's been out of there for many, many years, Eric.
Oh, okay, well,
I mean, to be fair,
don't be evil guy.
He is bailed out of Google many, many years ago, but he was able to provide money for the vice presidential candidate who ran with RFK Jr. For president. I don't know what happened to her. Have you heard anything from? She went back to her world of what happened to her.
Well, she converted to Christianity, and I think she's just doing stuff. With her money.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, she claimed she was going to be a social justice fighter for MAGA, and apparently it's just disappeared with her.
She was also going to be a governor of California.
She was going to run for governor of California. What happened to Amaryllis Fox, our old nemesis, the former CIA agent?
I don't know. Do you miss her?
No, but it makes me nervous when they go to ground and disappear. It's not a question of missing them.
I know.
It makes me nervous when these women of such high profile and money and evil doing disappear into the fabric of the culture.
You know,
I get nervous.
I bet you Schellenberger would know.
Schellenberger's probably married to her already. He's probably living with her.
I'm just saying. That's my vote. Ask Schellenberger. Hey, where is she? All right. So we've got this story here, and it over and over and over. But I want to complain about the headline. But anyway, perp school teacher filmed sex with student she was tutoring. Answer, not my best thinking. Now,
well, it's also said prep school, not perp school. So I just want to point that out.
Oh, well, Freudian slip, I guess. Well, she is a perp now.
Right. So she is now, and she is sentenced to 15 years, one of the stronger sentences for the crime that was not her best thinking.
Which I'm glad for, but can we just change the headline, or imagine now, what if this was a male? Would it say filmed sex with student? I think they'd use another word, wouldn't they? If it was a male, and it gets
she fits the profile. If you scroll up, it's always a young looking 27-year-old smoking hot teacher. And please don't say you wish you had her as a teacher when you were a kid in school. Don't make a moron out of yourself. But this seems to be exactly the same profile. I've been covering this story for 15 years, and it's always the same profile. It's some woman student who looks a lot younger than she is, who's smoking hot, who is doing stuff with 15-year-olds and being 27 years old and being their teacher. Finally, they're throwing the book at someone. 15 years is a pretty strong sentence, Eric.
They've been doing 10, 15 years for a lot of them.
Even they also do a probation for a lot of them too.
That's true, but even Mary Jane, God, the really famous one who wound up, she served like 15 years or more, and then married the
that
guy.
Was an aberrational case.
I guess, but I'm just saying,
Mary Kate Letourneau was
right, but she got real time.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Recently, it's mostly women getting probation.
Okay, well, either way, it's getting old now. Then we have the flip side, and this is an interesting story arc, because I saw this story from the Daily Mail, and I was like, "Well, what? Holy cow!" And here's the headline: "Glamorous JPMorgan exec accused of turning married male broker into her office sex slave, claims of Viagra spiking and litany of obscene forced acts that made him cry." And I was like, "Okay, got to cover that. That's a weird one. What the
There's
hell?"
nothing weird about it. He's suing a former boss, and
No, it's worse.
But
Anyway, this is
there's one word in there that is the key word, and that's consensual.
Well, actually,
He admits to it being consensual.
It's a
Good luck with that case, bro.
No, it's beyond that. It is a complete fabrication.
Oh, okay. That's even better.
That's the one word,
That's
fabrication.
Yeah. Well, I saw
he's
this
been unmasked. This guy apparently maybe had done something before. He may be going to prison himself.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm just saying it's
wow.
That's why I thought it was crazy. I see the one story. I'm like, oh, let me go check. Oh shit! So the story is a lot deeper than it was.
Well, what did he do? He made it up,
apparently. And
okay.
The whole company.
How do you expect to get away with it?
I have no idea, because it's bad too, because I think the JPMorgan may have taken his word for it, and now they're on the hook too.
Oh, so it's like a phony Me Too.
Yeah. No, well, in reverse, yeah. So, which I guess
with some salacious stuff thrown in for sparks and firecrackers.
Well, I mean, it is a Daily Mail headline.
No, but I mean, in this lawsuit, he talks about sex slavery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mask the inadequacy of the lawsuit.
That's true.
In other words, those look like things he put in for attention grabbers.
All right. Okay, we've talked a little bit about Ozempic going a little bit wild and maybe being overused, especially by the Hollywood crowd. Headline is Olivia Wilde, 42, surprises fans with changing appearance as interview clip goes viral.
No, I can't look at it. I can't see that again. I'm trying to unsee it for the first time. Whoa, Olivia Wilde goes wild in this episode of Girls Gone Wild. Whoa, that's so dark, bro. That's so
I mean, it's a beautiful woman. That's like last year.
Yeah. Oh no, stop it. Stop it. Stop.
No, this is 2024. This is 2024. Okay.
What is wrong with her?
I mean, gee, I wonder. I think it might be Ozempic. Look at the side by side. I mean, it's brutal.
Looks like her head was stuck in a vice or something, you know?
And I understand that at different angles or whatever, it can be worse, but I mean, look at this. A, B.
Oh, well, that's not angles.
This is the wrong order of the before after, okay?
She's so pretty on the left.
She's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And look at Angelina Jolie to the right on this one.
Let me see. Where is that? Who's the one with the red lipstick?
That's Angelina Jolie, I think they're claiming.
No, I don't know who that is. That's not Angelina Jolie.
Wait, who? Well, I know Angelina Jolie is looking bad, so I mean, I don't know. Anyway, this is about probably the best shot of her from that. I think not quite as bad, but still not great.
Yeah, she was in the show House and 13. I don't know what else she was in, Olivia Wilde.
I don't remember. I mean, I know.
I'm talking to myself here. Yeah,
at one point.
Well, I guess they do desperate things at the end. Desperate Housewives.
Well, I hope she can eat a little bit, and maybe it'll.
Well, the new thing is, just so you really want to get in the weeds. The new thing is Ozempic breath. So they're now recommending that you carry around a bottle of mouthwash if you're an Ozempic actress or an Ozempic taking person, because what it's doing is it's bringing up the bile from inside the human body through the opening called the mouth. And Ozempic breath is so deadly, it's so incredibly far-ranging that you can smell their breath, they say, from up to 4 to 5 feet of Ozempic breath. So they're now issuing Altoids breath mints, and small bottles of mouthwash for your pocketbook to offset the Ozempic breath.
Wow. And
It's another weird new side effect.
well, and then there's another one too. Ozempic personality, and there's a term for it where people who are an Ozempic, and it actually sounds kind of scary, they're like flat, like they just don't
Flat
care.
affect, you mean?
Yeah, just like it just they have no joy, no anything. It completely
She looks like she
flattens
really
it.
needs Ozempic, that woman. Is she
I
started?
don't know. I'm hey, stock images. What do you want?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
But anyway, the Ozempic personality, it's a worse mood, increased feelings of anxiety and depression, feelings of anhedonia.
Yeah, anhedonia is a thing. It's a apathy kind of.
Apathy. That's what I was looking for. It is
You're looking
literally
for apathy. Apathy.
Yeah, no, they'd say this apathy. I was trying to find that word earlier.
Right,
yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Decreased libido. So it kind of, I'm a little bit worried because, like SSRIs, there have been questions about mass shootings, SSRIs, and certain traits. I hope we don't see an
Ozempic shooters. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know, or some bad things coming out of it. I'm not going to go.
Actresses gone wild, shooting up nightclubs. This could happen.
Yeah, I'll let you say it. Mark.
Yeah, I don't know.
Groubert is making.
I don't know where this is going.
But yeah, I mean, what joy. So it's like, okay, so you lose a bunch of weight. That's good, but everything about your life is flat, and you're apathetic.
Hey.
No,
you got to give a little to get a little. I mean, there's a price to pay when you dance with the devil. Now, that being said, Epic Times has a huge article on the cover this week about lowering the body's immune system from cannabis. Big study about reduction in immune system strength, how it hides in your system the THC, causing a reduction in your overall immune system. So there's that to live with as we expand the marijuana industry into the 50 states, thanks to Trump.
Well, he said that he did want to get some medical experimentation. I guess it's just happening nationally.
Well, I don't know why they need experimentation with a store on the corner. It doesn't make any sense. In other words, the bullshit rap, sticking in the word medical into it, there's nothing medical about the cannabis store that's on the corner. Again, it's a phony word that they stuck in that I'm looking at. I'm going like, why are they putting the word medical into this thing? It has nothing to do with medical because now he's allowing them, the cannabis clubs, the cannabis stores, to bank with federal regulations. What does it have to do with medical anything? He's a huge commercial enterprise. The woman that we showed, Kim Rivers, has nothing to do with medical anything. She's a complete CEO of a capitalist corporation. In other words, that medical thing that was something in the 90s. That was a stopgap thing, a wink and a nod to go to your doctor to get a note to get medical marijuana. We are way past that as a culture now. That's why I was surprised to see the word medical in there.
Well, because that's the original camel's nose in the tent.
Right, but it's so old that the camel's completely in the tent.
That's true, but we're back on the national level. So it's like, it's like Virginia was the first Southern state to
so they're going to
allow medical.
They're going to open up a commercial cannabis store in a mall that has nothing to do with medical anything on the planet Earth. They're just going to sell straight up cannabis like every other cannabis shop in the country. Very disingenuous, the entire thing on the part of Trump. The whole thing is extremely disingenuous.
No, it's going to be going from head shops to weed shops.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. All right. Oh, well, good news, I guess. I think it's interesting. House votes unanimously to reopen DHS, ending the 75-day shutdown. ICE and Border Patrol to be funded separately. This is
why couldn't they do this 75 days ago?
I don't know, but one thing that creeped me out a little bit is I think they got an extension on the FISA shit.
Oh, yeah, they did. They absolutely
little
did.
Bastards.
Yeah. It's amazing what they attach to these bills. Something about the farm bill was attached to this, about corn. I was watching on two-way. I mean, they put things in these bills that have nothing to do with the bills themselves.
Yep.
They're sneaky little fucks. They really are sneaky little fucks.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times people have talked about it, but how about the single page bills, like single page, single item? Sorry,
Yeah.
you vote for every damn one. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what? You can have a button. If you can't raise your hand, just press the button. Okay.
Yeah.
But they really, really need to do that. This omnibus bullshit. This is lighter. It's only a few things they slipped in there, but
something about corn. I don't know. I wasn't following it, but something about corn is in there.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Probably some ethanol or
no. It was about subsidies for farmers growing corn.
Right, ethanol. That's
no. It wasn't ethanol. Ethanol industry is. We have so much natural gas now and so much oil that ethanol has disappeared from the zeitgeist. I think this was just about corn futures. Growing corn.
Well, it apparently has a future now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we've talked about this before, but it's been a little while. I think things actually have gotten a little bit better since Trump came in, even on the local level with the shoplifting and stuff. And right at the
micro
same time,
looting, it's called, by the way.
Micro looting, yeah, there you go. Anyway, why Walmart, Target, and Costco are axing more self-checkouts as states and New York City push limits. And that is an interesting paradigm because, it was going, they were trying to get rid of like all cashiers of any type. And get rid
Why
of
is it bad for them? What are they losing? People stealing stuff?
Their ass from shoplifting because of the
self-checkout?
Oh, yeah. It's super
What
easy.
difference does it make? You could go through the regular checkout and steal the shit.
It's a lot more difficult to pull it off in the cart. They've shown that over and over and over. A lot of it is even accidental, incompetent people, scanning and forgetting and not doing it the right way. You've been behind people in line who try to, pull crap like using coupons that aren't for the same product. And there's
I don't know about that. Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. I worked at a grocery store back in the day.
I didn't know about that. Okay. I don't go that often, so I'm not in there that often.
But
I'm really an online person. I get anxiety going into Target, into those big stores. I just think something bad's going to happen. So I very rarely go in there. Okay. If I can't get it delivered, it's really not worth it to me. It's just evolved that way. I guess I just get stuff online. Now that I think about it, I rarely go into. I do go in the supermarket, but I don't go into department stores ever.
Well, I know Walmart is a supermarket too, so yeah.
Right, but we don't have that around here. When I go away to other states, I'll go to Walmart because of the supermarket, or to get crap on the road.
Yeah, well, I know that from meetups because I see what you bring in.
Yeah,
obviously you find your way into Walmart.
Oh, we might as well talk about the meetup now that you mention it. June 27th at the Anaheim Marriott, one of the great hotels in Orange County, right across the street from Disneyland. And you could go to Knott's Berry Farm. You could go to the Angels game if they're home. I don't know what their schedule is. That's on you. I don't know about your pickup at an airport. I know a lot of people have problems that Eric and I really don't have the strength or desire to solve. But we can give you 20% off from the hotel room, and there's some of the hotel rooms at the Marriott where we're having the event, which is going to be wonderful, including dinner, including a show. We're not going to have strippers this year, but everything but.
Unless it's self-participation by the guests.
Yeah. I think you got 2 months to get it together. You could fly into John Wayne Airport, LAX, or there's a lot of places to go in. You could drive, you could do whatever you want. That's on you. But you got 2 months to figure this out. And there's a code that Eric has for you to use to get the room. It's a spectacular hotel.
For the event itself, if you just go in the description or just go to americasuntoldstories.com/meetup, it will take you there. We have the information about the location, the date. You can buy tickets to the event, and the information I added as well today that for the hotel, including the 20% discount and directions on how to get the discount.
Cool.
All is there. So,
It's not so hot
americasuntoldstories.com/meetup.
in the end of June in Orange County. The weather's really nice. It doesn't get hot till July and August and September. So it's a good time to go. And there's the World Cup is in town, and just a lot of things going on in Southern California that week and that month.
I'd recommend you think about booking pretty soon, because there's a lot of things going on in California.
But every summer, I mean, it's Disneyland, bro.
So
I mean, that's when they take they go to Disneyland, and I'd recommend you could literally take a shuttle for free across the street to Disneyland all day if you want from the hotel.
Now, I haven't been there. Is it walkable too? Like, even if you
of course,
all over the place,
of course, yeah.
Because that's what I tend to do. My personal thing is I never rent a car. I always just take an Uber, whatever, get dropped off, and I always like to walk everywhere. And
you could walk everywhere you want. You could take an Uber from the airport, or do what you want. I don't know if they have shuttle service, but there's all kinds of different ways to get around down there.
Yeah, and I don't think Uber's that much from the airport anyway.
Well, you're going to find out.
Oh, yes, I will find out. I will be there finding out. I went to Brea. It's not that far away. So
no, you're right. It's just the next town. Yeah.
So either way, hope to see you there. And the tickets are available now. The event is available now. Again, americasuntoldstories.com/meetup.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about the midterms, Trump. We're going to talk about a lot of the things we've been talking about on the show, but in person.
Definitely. And it's a good time. I mean, those in the chat or elsewhere who have been to other events, tell them. I mean, don't take my word for it. Talk to
We've had three. I think three of them east of the Mississippi, Youngstown. We had
Alabama,
Montgomery, Alabama, right?
Yeah, Florida,
we had Boca Raton, right?
And West Palm.
Oh, so it's 4 east of the Mississippi.
Right.
Okay. Oh, there's people squawking about
one in Vegas and one in Brea.
So that's 2 versus 4.
Right.
East, west of the Mississippi, using that as a dividing line. So this will be the 3rd on the west side, and there's 4 on the east side.
And Pew Pew is pointing out, yes, no meetups in Norway, not yet.
Very few.
Find us a venue, Pew Pew.
Very few.
And we'll consider it.
Very few. And I don't know if we can Uber there. If you have Ubers, they probably have Ubers, some other pronunciation.
There you go. Oh, all right. Scott H is saying this will be his 6th meetup.
Look at this. How many meetups have we had? 6 or 5? You're saying we've had 5 or no?
Well, 4, 5, 6, at least. I think 6. I don't know. I literally have to look anymore. There have been several, but they have slowed way down. So
they've slowed down. The meetups have slowed down.
We haven't had as many. We had more. Especially in 2024.
It sounds like one a year. It sounds like one every year.
Well, no, in 2024 we had 3.
Oh, that's a bad year. That's too many.
Anyways, last year we had 1 in Las Vegas.
I remember the election one in Boca. That's the only one I remember, with the champagne, and that was a good hotel. That was also a Hilton, I think. I forgot where that was. That was a nice setup. That was a nice setup.
Yeah, that one was in Boca. But we had West Palm earlier.
I get confused with the West Palm. Oh, right, that other room. Now I remember. Yeah, West Palm. Yeah. That was like a Holiday Inn, I think.
Yeah, that was under construction.
It was under construction. It was switching ownership or something.
Right. It is being turned into a
Well, this hotel is probably the best one we've ever been to. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And the food is going to be, they have a chef for the food and everything else. There's a cash bar, by the way, so bring some money. The bar will be rolled up to where the event is, but you're not getting free drinks, so don't think about it. No, I just want to say that. I don't know. People may think, who knows what they think.
Yeah, well, we don't. Yeah.
But we have our own cash bar, so you can buy whatever you want. But the food is included.
Yes.
Yeah, the food and coffee and drinks.
And then like a coffee, Coke, or whatever.
Yeah, that goes with it. But you're not getting free liquor, so forget about it, you old bags.
Okay. All right. Well, while we're talking about support here, Brian Morris, 2620 is a new member. Thank you very much.
That's Garrett Morris's son from SNL, who fell on hard times and then came back and is now back in show business. He had a little bit of nepotism help from his father, but now on his own in show business. Good to see. Good to see, Byron.
All right, Pamela out of Texas. Hello. She likes my thumbnails. Always a hero. Thank you very much. Tractor Guy, Diffuse 56. Nothing is illegal in Mamdanistan. LOL. Tractor Guy. Yeah.
Well, he had a run-in with the King of England. Apparently, he didn't want to go down to the 9/11 site with the King and didn't want to discuss anything with the King. And they asked him what he would say to the King. And he said, I would demand the return of some sapphire or some jewel that the colonial British had taken from in. I couldn't even follow what he was saying. The point is that the King was not there at the 9/11 site. It was because they lost hundreds of Brits who died in 9/11. That's why the King was laying the wreath. And this schmuck didn't even want to go down there to be an ambassador or emissary to a visiting dignitary, this douche, because of some sapphire that he claims the King had stolen.
Personally, I'm sure. What an idiot.
Yeah, in 1883.
Now, I do know there's a controversy with the museums in England that the majority of their contents are not actually English. They're from like all over the
You can make that argument with every country has that same problem. I mean, the Belgium has that. The French have that. Including our own country.
Yeah, well,
try getting
less here because we had
Jewish,
so much of our own that we took over and we're holding still.
Yeah, try getting Jewish art back from the Nazis. See how long that battle's been going on for 60 years.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Nana Geek One, Hochul up for re-election. Otherwise, she would give him the money.
Oh, good point. Oh, she's between a cock and a hard place. I mean, she's really in trouble. What is she going to do?
She's doing the right thing.
Did she get elected at all? Does anybody remember if she replaced Cuomo? Has she ever been elected by the people? I know she moved up when Cuomo was forced out, but is this her second election?
I can't answer. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it might be. She might have been voted in once, but the first time she replaced Cuomo.
Yeah.
Right.
No, she had to have because he was out in 2020, right?
I don't know. Was that
right
at the beginning of
COVID.
It was in Cuomo. He was in COVID for a long time. I mean, he was having press conferences during COVID. So it was post-COVID that he went down.
You know, he might have just won. So it could have been early in his cycle. So
you know what? You might be right. You might be right. Yeah.
Okay, second election. Al Gonzalez for the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who personally arrested Flavor Flav, I've learned on my other channel, during a domestic dispute in Harlem from Public Enemy. Flavor Flav arrested by Al Gonzalez at one point in Al's...
Why did you tell me that story? I've met the guy
I
multiple
just heard
times.
it. He just said it yesterday on the show.
Man. Unbelievable. You're holding back the good stories. I'm disappointed. Diffuse 56 gifted 10 America's Untold Stories memberships, which we deeply appreciate. And James Bundy also gifted some memberships, 5 America's Untold Stories memberships.
Al Bundy's cousin from Married with Children. He was actually started as a stand-in for Al Bundy, who is from Youngstown, Ohio, by the way.
He is. Yep. As a matter of fact, he funded the Traffic Camp movie.
He did fund the Traffic Camp movie.
Yes.
Yeah, which is an episode on the show here. If you want to learn about one of the most outrageous congressmen in American history, go to the Trafficon episode.
Absolutely. And James, it's good that you've moved up from being Ted Bundy's cousin to Al Bundy.
Nice try, Hunley. Hunley,
you're the one that did the Ted Bundy
Hunley
reference
getting in the spirit of the thing. Good work. Way to go.
Oh, you're the one who said Ted Bundy before.
No, I'm encouraging you to do more of this work.
I see.
It's fun for the whole family.
Pew Pew, who's been a member for 22 months, said, tell your friends AUS are the GOAT. Thank you. Thank you very much. Justin Wright, 7297, not just running, Naruto running, apparently because plain anime moves works.
playing, apparently cosplaying. He's talking about cosplay.
Oh, cosplaying.
Cosplay, yeah. Whoever Naruto is into cosplay, I guess.
Okay.
Naruto is running against somebody, again, using my personal Enigma machine. I think somebody named Naruto is running and is into cosplay.
Okay. Okay. By the way, I just showed the thing with the Ozempic face, which I think it probably is with Olivia Wilde, and I see on X, just in, President Trump announces Medicare patients will begin receiving weight loss drugs like Ozempic for $50 a month starting July 1st.
Well, I agree with that. I happen to politically agree with that because the obesity problem, this is abuse by celebrities, has nothing to do with the obesity problem in the United States. It's two separate worlds. And this drug was so expensive that people with obesity couldn't get their hands on it.
I just want to see it controlled, hopefully by a doctor who's actually prescribing it, because
no, they're going to buy it. They're going to get it at Walmart. They're just going to. Of course, it's going to be a doctor.
Oh, for now. I mean,
what do you mean for now? I mean,
well, because they've gone to oral now. At least you had to have an injection on it, but now oral is available, and I do
still
worry.
By prescription. It's by prescription, oral or not. Come on, it's a heavily regulated drug.
Okay, we'll see. Let's put a pin in it and revisit this topic later, because
it's never going to be without a
prescription. Never. Okay, everybody, never.
I will say never. I will go as far as to say Ozempic will never be a non-prescription over-the-counter drug. I'll stick my neck out on that one.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Goose Toots 1. Can dog sniffers attack or just allowed to alert only?
All right, explain that to me, Hunley. You explain that one.
I'm sure they're talking about like drug sniffing dogs or whatever. I don't know if they're.
I don't see. Right.
They're trained to attack per se. I think
they're
trained to sit down. I think the drug dogs. But
are they supposed to bark at the baggage that has the thing in it? I mean,
well, it depends on how they're trained. I've seen it where they'll sit down, where they go up, and then they sit down. Maybe to not draw a bunch of attention,
right?
But they maybe sometimes they bark. I don't know how they're trained. I guess it depends on the circumstances and the methodology. Like German guard dogs, for example, here in the States, our dogs are trained to keep people out of the house.
When you say German, you mean German Shepherds?
Like the country of Germany, who has guard dogs,
right?
Their dogs are, Doberman Pinschers, German Shepherds, whatever. They have multiple breeds.
Right on.
Their dogs are trained to let people in and then trap them
into a house or into a store.
Right. So they just sit there and don't do anything, and then when they're in there, then they keep them trapped, and the cops can go pick them up.
Wow,
at least it was that way at one time.
Wow.
Here, they bark to hopefully prevent you from breaking in. So two different styles. Let me see. Big Bill 767. Great job, guys. I always love the show. Well, thank you, Big Bill. And always an odd number and very, very reliable. We're expecting
That's
you
a flight number. That's his flight number, probably flight 33 out of Dallas.
Yeah, but he did like 23 before.
That was flight 23 out of Chicago.
Well, man, whatever flight. I hope to see him in California. You should fly on into California and come see us. Tim McLaughlin, 3409. Great show as always. Well, thank you.
You could fly into San Diego and come up that way and really surprise people.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you could use the San Diego airport.
Well, I mean, if he's a pilot, he could go.
No, that's why I'm mentioning.
Catch a ride on any plane and go.
You could get a car in San Diego, drive up. It's not that far.
Me Parno said, "You guys give me hope."
I wish they gave me hope because I feel hopeless half the time. Thanks.
Mark gives me an itch, but anyway, let's see. RSP, that's cute. ARESP. A small correction from last week's show about Greece not in NATO. Oh, I said I didn't know. And then people did correct us. Yes, Greece apparently is in NATO. They've been in NATO since 1952. Since day one, with Iran deployed naval assets and multiple Patriot batteries covering Aramco facilities and the East-West pipeline.
So they're protecting the oil interests that are in Greece.
Okay.
They've got oil missiles. They got missiles around the Aramco oil facilities. That's fine. I mean, look, this thing is just such a brilliant strategy, and
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
strangled. Yeah.
they're just strangling them to death. It's almost getting cruel. What these people are going to do, but you don't understand, Mark. I can't vote for Trump again because he put out and ended 8 wars, but he started this one. So based on my metrics, I can no longer vote for him or support his candidates in the midterms, Mark, is what they're telling me. But the strangulation by this...
No, it's Mark, it's all the boots that are on the ground right now.
And the boots on the ground and World War III and all the other boobamisis that was coming out of these insane podcasters, none of it which came to fruition. And yet I still watch them every week because every week they have to come up with these incredibly insane draconian statements to support my clickbaiting addiction of me watching them, Eric.
Yeah. And I just let Mark watch them.
I don't watch them. I mean, I'm just saying I mean, here is the end of Alex Jones as we know it. Finally,
yesterday, by the way, everybody pour one out for InfoWars.
Right, they're done, and now it's going to be taken over by the Onion. I don't know what that's about. I compared it to the Cult Awareness Network being taken over by Scientology through the courts. That's the closest thing I could think of when Jonathan was on Gross last week. But it couldn't have happened to a bigger anti-Semite at this point in our. It's almost karmic. It's almost karmic. You know, was he railroaded on the school thing? Yeah, he was definitely railroaded. But he has created such animus against the Jewish people. It's hard to support a guy like that and not wish him ill will. And you can Google the quotes yourselves of statements that he's made against the Jews.
He used to be better. Anyway, well, whatever. K-Dog 4703. He hit another home run. Joey Chitwood is one of the top 5 most dominant athletes all time.
Joey Chitwood of the race car driver?
Who the hell you're talking?
I think it's Joey Chitwood is a race car driver. I don't know. Is that who you're thinking of?
Mm-hmm.
5 dominant athletes of all time. Joey Chitwood. Funny cars. I think he drove funny cars too in New Jersey.
Yeah, you just got me.
I'm just really obscuring my own brain.
Well,
there was a guy yesterday. There was a guy yesterday. It was a birthday for Roscoe Lee Brown, who was a black actor who was in Hitchcock movies. And I said, I vaguely remember Roscoe Lee Brown being a DJ on WNEW FM in New York at night. And this guy wrote in the comment section, boy, you couldn't be more wrong. You're obviously referring to Roscoe Johnson. And he puts this whole thing down of being a DJ on WNEW. And then I had to look it up. And of course, I was correct that he was a DJ at WNEW FM. And I'm very rarely wrong about old stuff. My short-term memory is shot, but the old stuff lingers in my brain for decades for no reason. So it's funny because I knew the guy was a DJ at WNEW, and he used to read poetry and do literary stuff, and he had an incredible, deep, resonant voice, Eric, which was so perfect for FM radio in 1968, 69. And I had to go and look it up, and it was, like you pointed out, one of those cases where they invariably say I am wrong and they're wrong. This never-ending thing that doesn't have a name.
Which I almost
there's got to be a name for this.
I didn't want to point it out though, because I'm like, then you can get the damn trolls doing it intentionally. So it's like one of those where it's like, do I mention it out loud or don't I mention it out loud? There's always a calculation you have to consider.
Good point.
When doing this stuff. So,
but there were just 2 good ones in just one show yesterday that I did. 2 different ones with the same thing.
Well, yeah, there's always something. A couple rants. I'll get back to super chats. Kitty 724. They're trying to look like aliens, so they'll be more attractive too. That's, I think, the Ozempic situation.
What's her name? Yeah, Olivia.
Tenny Ballgame said that Hochul beat Lee Zeldin in a
Zeldin. Election. That's right. Down goes Zeldin.
So, Sean Lucan said, thank you again, gentlemen. Happy Friday, everyone. Well, thank you, Sean. And Sean, you're always super generous. And here he is again, donating 10 memberships. Sean, one of the heroes. A lot of really Tractor Guy, Pew Pew, Dick Dickerson, so some great people. We do deeply appreciate them. Beavis, Wallace. I mean, I'm gonna miss names, so I always hate saying names because I miss a bunch, but we really do appreciate it. Bobo is with some icons, fan of Trump and Israel and America and strength.
Oh, that's interesting. Those
Guy's
got his room already. Wow.
Yeah, excellent. It's got a scrape. Got my room. Got to scrape about 600 catalytic converters this weekend, and then get our tickets. Okay,
it's scrap. But they found a place here in Boyle Heights with about 5,000 catalytic converters that were stolen. It was almost like a headquarters of stolen catalytic converters. And this insane woman, Nithya Raman, the city councilwoman, wrote a strongly worded letter to Toyota saying they were responsible because they didn't put the catalytic converters in secure enough to prevent her criminal element voters from stealing them. I swear
that was the Illinois defense.
I swear
they said that in Illinois too a couple years ago.
Wow.
And they actually sued Kia, I think, and some other auto manufacturers.
Maybe that's where she got it.
Oh yeah, well, communists are collective, right?
Collective, yeah.
And then Al Gonzalez closing it out. My friend is a lieutenant in Uniform Secret Service. Said the interference by the dinner organizers was incredible.
Absolutely.
They don't want their guests standing in long lines waiting to get into the ballroom.
Right, Al. Thank you. I've said this on the last show, but it's not a question of long lines. It's also a question of an event run by 2,500 of his arch enemies. If anybody was suspect to tampering with security, it would be them even joking around. I mean, their interest in providing tighter security is the opposite of, look, put it this way. 250 of the 2,500 signed a letter to do something during that thing. And I think they were going to stand up and walk out, but we don't know that. We don't know. They were going to pull off a stunt in the dinner itself. That's
and you saw like Oberman, who was saying, if you don't do something when you're there, you're not American.
No, but they clearly had an action, a political action designed for the event where there's no bulletproof glass in front of him. Who knows what their stunt was? I mean, Curran knew that this was a hostile camp and that 250, 10% of them were going to do something politically. Give me a break. And they did admit that the organization itself had to deal with the Secret Service in terms of the magnetometers being put 5 inches from the door instead of on the street like they do when he's out of the country.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the biggest issue of all is just there should have been more distance. So if he did break the line, it'd take him a long time to be able to get down. They could just, at their leisure, go and take him out, essentially. But no.
Well, I mean, if you can't hit a guy from 36 inches away,
it's harder than you think. In order to be fair, have you ever heard the comparisons about taking a gun to a 9 fight?
Please, I can't listen to it. I'm sorry. I can't listen to it. It's 36 inches. You're a trained Secret Service agent. 5 shots. You got to hit somebody. I'm sorry. It's not even a debatable point.
All right. Well, we will have a debatable point over on locals, and we can hash it out there. And I hope you all consider following us over there, unstructured.locals.com. You can be a member for free. Or if you want, you can support us, and there's a lot of extra content, things like that. You get to interact more, everything else, by becoming a yearly supporter. So hope to see you there momentarily.
Okay, I'm going over.